Top story first, Tamil Nadu Finance Minister Mari Wilson presented the TVK-led government's first full state budget today. And here's what it's all about. The big headline is that Tamil Nadu's budget sets an ambitious economic target of transforming the state into a $1.5 trillion economy by 2031, with the government positioning industrial growth, manufacturing, investments and employment generation as the key pillars of this vision. In fact, the finance minister said that the government would pursue sustained high economic growth while maintaining fiscal discipline and creating an ecosystem that attracts both domestic as well as global investments. On the fiscal front, the government acknowledged the financial pressures inherited by the state and outlined measures to strengthen revenues without compromising on welfare spending. A special levy on liquor manufacturing units is expected to generate close to 1,000 crore rupees in additional revenue, while procurement reforms through open tenders are aimed at improving transparency, reducing cartelization and enhancing the state's financial position. Now, education received one of the largest allocations in the budget, with 44,527 crore rupees earmarked for school education and 8,393 crore rupees for higher education. The government has also set aside 300 crore rupees to improve infrastructure in 3,734 government schools, while around 2,000 crore rupees has been allocated for the Victory laptop scheme, along with continued support for free bicycles and other student welfare initiatives. Infrastructure remains another major focus area, with close to 21,524 crore rupees allocated for highways and road development. The budget also announced the launch of the Safe Roads Mission, the Nammasale mobile application, and a new master plan for the Chennai metropolitan area, alongside greater use of artificial intelligence in governance and public service delivery. Now, urban deployment and housing have also received significant attention, with 8,852 crore rupees allocated for the Housing and Urban Development Department. The government announced a new affordable housing scheme as well for middle-income families, while also proposing the redevelopment of aging urban housing projects to improve living conditions across cities. Now, on the sports and youth development front, the budget allocates a little over 1,000 crore rupees to strengthen sporting infrastructure, nurture young talent, and expand youth welfare programs across the state. It also unveiled a series of welfare measures, including the distribution of an 8-gram gold coin and silk saris under the marriage assistance scheme, gold rings for newborns delivered in government hospitals, and an increase in the Hajj subsidy for first-time pilgrims to 35,000 rupees per pilgrim. Additionally, 1,485 crore rupees has been allocated for the welfare of persons with disabilities, including the adoption of AI-based assistive technologies. On to policy next. The government reiterated its demand for the abolition of NEET and the restoration of medical admissions based on Class 12 marks. It also highlighted procurement reforms as a key governance priority, saying that open tenders have helped curb cartelization and improve transparency in government contracting. Now, joining us to weigh in on some of these announcements in the budget from a political standpoint is political analyst Rehan Rajput. Rehan, firstly, thank you so much for joining us on South Central today. From a political standpoint, Rehan, the fact is that a lot of these announcements that I just made with regard to Tamil Nadu's full budget for the year have in many ways mirrored previous budgets, thereby even though the TVK being a differently named party, in many ways some are saying it is pretty much following the welfare-oriented budgeting that has been followed by governments past, you reckon, Rehan?
Yeah. So I would say that this budget is, of course, as you said, is not much different than the government of the previous government, especially the DMK-led government. So generally what happens in politics, the budget is a signaling, is no doubt this is a signaling to the people of the state, but at the same time the side of the budget remains the same, more or less same like the previous government. It is about the posturing of the government, how the government posture it, how the government talks to the people, bring it to the people, how the government portrays to the people. So it is more on the operational side. The administrative things remains more or less the same. But the few notable things if you see the budget, and then there's commendable things and the aims and the operational things that have been included, which we must talk about. The one thing is, if you see the budget, that's fiscal health and the economic vision of the budget. The government, with this very first budget of the TVK-led government, has set the tone and has set the aim to take Tamil Nadu's GDP to $1.5 trillion by 2036. So in the next 10 years, the state economy budget is aimed at tripling. It's currently around $500 billion, and in the next 10 years, they are trying to bring it. They have a vision of tripling it to $1.5 trillion. I think that's a very, very visionary and very ambitious target, so to say. It is yet to be seen how the
Absolutely.
next, how the next government, how the next.
In fact, as much as it is ambitious, Rehan, in fact, that deadline for the $1.5 trillion economy is not 2036, it's 2031. So the TVK seems, ably confident of doing that within the next half a decade, as far-fetched as that target may seem, at least at this time and place. But let's take a look at some of those welfare measures the government has announced. I'm talking about the distribution of 8-gram gold coins, a gold ring for every newborn in a government hospital, silk saris under the marriage assistance scheme, and it's not even an election year, Rehan. The Hajj subsidy as well, it's been increased to 35,000 rupees per pilgrim. Is the TVK government essentially trying to remind the people of Tamil Nadu in many ways that they don't have to miss the welfare measures of the Dravidian heavyweights in the DMK and the AIADMK? In many ways, the TVK is pretty much the same, old wine in a new bottle, perhaps.
So, as I said, it remains more or less the same. Actually, the posturing matters. How the government talks to the people and brings the policies to the people matters. The way they bring to the people, the way they talk about their policies to the people. But if you see on the administrative things, the old wine in a new bottle, you can say it because whether at the center as well. If you see the Congress government and the BJP government, the budget figures and the budget, the nitty-gritties of the budget, they are more or less the same. So similarly, the DMK previous government and the new TVK-led government has kind of similar set of figures in their budgets. But it matters how, as you spoke about the Hajj subsidy, as you spoke about the ring and the sort of the posturing, that matters, and that makes the difference in the vision of the people. In the view of the people, that actually differs people's view about the government. Yeah.
Absolutely. And on the political front as well, some pretty big statements being made there. Complete abolition of the NEET exam, restoration of medical admissions based on, class 12 marks. Again, a long-standing demand from Tamil Nadu, and one that is likely to see continuity with this government as well, making it absolutely clear that, banning NEET is something that it will take forward. A politically an astute move, you reckon, given Tamil Nadu's sentiments with regard to the matter?
I think, of course, the TVK government, the party which won the election, and as TVK won the recent election, they sense the pulse in the public of the Tamil Nadu, and accordingly they have set the agenda. There is a sense of alignment in the public that there should be the NEET shouldn't be on the state level, and the state level has its own set of examination pattern. And this is same reflected in the budget and the promises of the TVK-led government as well,
Absolutely. Well, on that note, Rehan, thank you so much for joining us in South Central and breaking down some of those big takeaways from the state budget, the first full one under the TVK government in Tamil Nadu. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
And speaking of the budget itself, a former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and DMK President MK Stalin has launched a sharp attack on that budget presented by the TVK-led administration. Stalin called it a quote-unquote waste. alleging that it merely repackages welfare schemes introduced by previous DMK governments while failing to offer a fresh vision or address key public concerns and major election promises. In fact, in a post on social media, Stalin also said that people had expected a blast but were instead left with a waste. He described the budget as a remake version of the Dravidian model, claiming that the government had simply renamed existing DMK schemes without introducing meaningful new initiatives. He also accused the TVK government of ignoring issues like farmers' concerns, power tariff problems, and rising prices, while questioning the absence of several promises made in the TVK's election manifesto. Moving on, India's AI hiring story is evolving. The race, it seems, is no longer just about building large language models or hiring AI researchers. Companies are now looking for talent that can actually deploy AI into real-world business environments. Now, according to a new study by Bengaluru-based talent solutions firm CLHR, demand for forward-deployed engineers has surged 130% over the past year as enterprises now begin moving beyond pilot projects and focusing on implementing AI at scale. These professionals, the report says, bridge the gap between cutting-edge AI tech and business operations, thereby helping organizations integrate AI into existing workflows and deliver measurable outcomes. In fact, that study also points to a widening talent gap. India currently has only around 1,200 deployment-ready professionals, even as companies are offering salaries ranging from 35 lakh rupees to as high as 1.4 crore for specialized roles. Bengaluru, no surprises there, continues to dominate hiring, followed by Delhi NCR and Hyderabad, with enterprise software firms, hyperscalers, IT service companies, and AI startups leading the demand. So 2 out of 3 top hirers are from South India. But what's driving this shift in hiring, and what does it mean for India's AI workforce? Joining us now to discuss these findings is Aditya Narayan Mishra, Managing Director and CEO at CLHR. Aditya, firstly, thank you for joining us in South Central today. Your study shows a 130% jump in demand for forward-deployed engineers. In a nutshell, what's driving the surge? Are companies finally moving on from AI pilots to full-scale implementation?
Yeah, thank you for having me here. Yeah, indeed, companies are now thinking about making AI work for it in a very, very meaningful, measurable, and impactful manner. So they are no more looking at AI as a novel tool or a system which has come, which will probably make their life a little easier or grow some efficiency, reduce some costs. They're more looking at the impact of the ROI or the returns on the investments that they make on AI. So the forward deployment engineers is one of those major skills that companies are looking for, which is going much beyond writing programs or codes, software codes using AI techniques. So it is about understanding the business problem of the company, identifying opportunities where a problem can be solved either by
Right.
doing some re-engineering or and then
Right.
taking a step further to understand what systems that the company has and then integrating that AI system, building the AI system, integrating that with the company. So this is the real challenge, which is much beyond simple software development that we see in a software services setup.
Right, right. In fact, thank you so much, Aditya, for also breaking down what a forward deployment engineer actually does. I'm not sure many of my viewers would have understood the nature of that role fully, so thank you for doing that. But I have to ask you, your report estimates that India has only about 1,200 of these professionals, deployment-ready professionals today in the forward deployment space. How serious is this talent shortage, and what does it mean really for AI adoption?
I think it's a new skill, so people are still learning it, and a lot of it has to be learned hands-on. And today we are seeing the skill shortage from about 20% to 60%, depending upon what kind of an industry it is and what kind of a company it is, and various other such factors. But the skill shortage is today a big shortage, and that's why, like you showed to your viewers, that very young people right at the start of their career are getting as high as million plus rupees as their annual salaries, and people who are at a 10 plus years experience who bring in certain kind of domain expertise, understanding of the industry, they are getting as high as 1.5 crores kind of an annual salary. So this demand for forward deployment engineers is real,
Right.
and it's rapidly evolving. More and more demand is coming up,
Right.
and I must say that simultaneously people are also equipping themselves with this skill so that the demand and supply gap can be bridged over time.
Absolutely. No, I'm glad you bring up money because I was quite taken aback when your study actually said that salaries could go as high as 1.4 crore rupees for certain AI deployment roles. Are these figures sustainable, or is this a temporary talent premium that we're seeing at this time and place, given that these deployment engineers are ever so scarce as of date?
I think it will stabilize after some time as the supply becomes a little more. So the demand will get matched better, and hence the salary levels will come down. At this point of time, this is high. So people will move on from this to something else, and these gaps will be filled by people who do those roles just for maintenance or for continuous improvement. Today, the work that's being done by this set of people is a lot of pioneering work they're doing for the first time, and hence the salaries are that premium.
Now, your study says that Bengaluru and Hyderabad feature in the top three of hiring itself, and along with Delhi NCR, these three cities account for nearly 80% of the hiring of forward deployment engineers. Do you see Chennai or other South Indian cities also catching up? Which cities are these, and what will it take for these cities in South India to make it to that top three list?
I think it is just that adoption which is already happening, and Bangalore, of course, is significantly higher. I think Hyderabad and Chennai are at position number 3 and 4, respectively. But as more and more adoption happens, people will pick it up. Today, we are seeing this is happening in IT services, IT products, GCCs, manufacturing. So South is very strong in some of these areas that I already talked about. And logistics is something which is a sector which is using the forward deployment engineers quite a bit, e-commerce, financial services. So as more and more use cases get taken up by the enterprises, and the cost of AI hopefully comes down or stabilizes a bit, then more and more enterprises, this will become ubiquitous. So
Right.
that time, I think
Right.
it will be everywhere.
Absolutely. Now, Aditya, very quickly before we wrap up, we're almost out of time. The report says that the next wave of hiring will include agentic AI engineers, AI security specialists, and responsible AI leads. Which of these roles do you expect to become mainstream over the next 2 to 3 years, and what kind of skill sets should professionals start building today?
I think all these three will become, because these three are three different dimensions of AI. As a tool comes
Okay.
in there, security has to be taken care of, and then AI agents have to work and they need to be orchestrated. That means they need to work in coordination with each other. So all these three will become important. So the professionals need to sort of study all of these three together, practice it, and start deploying at work.
Absolutely. Well, lots to look forward to then, on not just the AI front, but the AI jobs and AI skills front as well. On that note, thank you so much, Aditya, for joining us and helping us with those insights from CLHR's latest report on AI hiring. Good to have you with us here on South Central.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Well, moving on next, Priyank Kharge, that's the Home Minister of Karnataka, has asserted that the state is duty-bound to protect the rights and water needs of its citizens. His remarks come, remember, amid Renew tensions with Tamil Nadu over water releases and the proposed Mekedatu balancing reservoir project over the river Cauvery, with both states hardening their positions on the politically sensitive issue. In fact, speaking to reporters in Bengaluru, Kharge said that while Tamil Nadu is naturally acting in the interests of its own people, Karnataka has an equal responsibility to safeguard the interests of its farmers and residents. Kharge's comments, remember, come even as Tamil Nadu has moved the Cauvery sharing issue to the Supreme Court, asking that Karnataka be asked or ordered to release Tamil Nadu's share of Cauvery water in the light of a shortage across the state. The Karnataka, meanwhile, has maintained that it will pursue all available legal options to protect its own interests. Let's listen in to what the Karnataka Home Minister had to say.
They will protect the right of their citizens. I am duty bound to protect the right of my citizens. And there is a law. Already Supreme Court law is there, the tribunal law is there. We will follow whatever it is.
There was an all-party meeting 2 days back in Karnataka regarding the Cauvery issue only. What is the use of that? The people are questioning on that.
Who is questioning? I haven't heard. Everybody has praised it. Who is questioning? Everybody has praised it. Everybody has praised the all-party meeting with MPs in Delhi and here. Show me one person who has told that we should not have done it.
Sir, how you
When BJP themselves have come, JDS themselves have come, which new party is there?
Sir,
Any other party is there?
No, but after the meeting also they moved to the Supreme Court.
That Tamil Nadu will do. They are not here to protect Karnataka. Na? Am I here to protect some other state? I am here to protect my state.
Shifting focus to Kerala next, the state continues to battle relentless monsoon fury, with the rain-related death toll now climbing to 26, even as the Met Department has issued an orange alert for several districts, warning of more heavy rainfall. Landslides, flash floods and overflowing rivers have caused widespread damage across central and northern Kerala, forcing thousands of people into relief camps, while rescue and evacuation operations have continued. Now, authorities have also warned residents in vulnerable areas to remain on high alert as the weather system shows a little sign of weakening. The IMD has also forecast widespread rainfall over Kerala, coastal Karnataka and Telangana through the coming days, raising concerns over fresh flooding and landslides. In fact, state agencies, the NDRF and local authorities remain on standby, while schools have been shut in several districts and travel disrupted due to the waterlogging and road closures. Now, with more rain expected, the focus is now on rescue efforts, restoring essential services and preventing further loss of life. My colleague Arpita joins us with this report on the Kerala rains.
Today, after 5 days, it looks little normal here in Kerala. In fact, Tiruvalla, this road is here in Tiruvalla, and you can see how the water has started receding. 2 days back, this was not the situation here. It was completely flooded. The roads were fully underwater. But today, it looks little better. The water has started receding. In fact, we spoke to NDRF officials some time back. Even they have confirmed that today, they have not gone for any rescue operation. In fact, they are on standby, but they are not needed today as of now. And even now, it is not raining also, but as far as the rain-related deaths are concerned, 26 deaths are confirmed by the Chief Minister. 4 people are still missing. The rescue ops to find those 4 missing are still on.
Well, let's hope and pray Kerala gets back on its feet rather soon. Now, moving on to a story we've been tracking for weeks now. The legal battle over construction restrictions around Chennai's ecologically sensitive Pallikarnai marsh is set to continue, with the Madras High Court adjourning a batch of petitions to the 20th of August. Now, the cases challenge the National Green Tribunal's blanket ban on granting approvals for new construction within a 1-kilometer radius of the Pallikarnai Ramsar site. Now, Ramsar, remember, is an internationally acknowledged and protected water body of ecological importance. In Chennai, that restriction, remember, has impacted thousands of acres of commercially viable land parcels across South Chennai. Now, during the hearing at the Madras High Court, the Chief Justice's bench indicated that while environmental protection remains paramount, a blanket ban or prohibition may not be the long-term solution. The court also asked the Tamil Nadu State Wetland Authority to suggest a balanced framework that safeguards the fragile marshland while allowing essential infrastructure and development wherever appropriate. The outcome could have significant implications for urban planning, the real estate sector, and wetland conservation across Chennai. And finally, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has said that the state's economy is back on track, backing his claim with a fresh progress report on his government's performance. Now, the government says it has attracted close to 23 lakh crore rupees worth of investment proposals, with projects of well over 11 lakh crore already grounded. Now, these projects, remember, are expected to generate nearly 10 lakh jobs, even as the state has also set an ambitious 15% GSDP growth target. The government says its focus is now on improving revenues, accelerating capital expenditure, and delivering major infrastructure projects, including Amaravati and Pollavaram. Naidu, remember, has also set deadlines of 2027 for completing the Pollavaram project and 2028 for phase 1 of Amaravati, saying these projects will drive the next phase of Andhra Pradesh's economic growth. And with that, it's a wrap on the bulletin today. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, with more news and market action from South India. But for the moment, it's goodbye from us.